Good morning and welcome to John Beck. This is your principal, Mr. Lin, and I hope that you had a wonderful weekend. Today is Monday, February 10th, 2025, and it is the day B. For instrumentals, it's a day 2. Now, before we kick off this wonderful day, I want to invite you, as I always do, to please stand and face the flag for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Now go ahead and take a seat. I'm so happy that you guys are here in school. I hope that you know we have 3 expectations here at the school. I'm going to go over them pretty fast because there's a couple other things I do want to hit for today's morning announcements. Number 1, let's be respectful. Let's be respectful to each other. John Beck kids are awesome. Every single one of you. You guys are great. But there are wolves within us, right? And the wolves that represent us the best are the ones that I hope that you guys will keep feeding, even when nobody else is looking. So if you're a 6th grader and you're talking to a 3rd grader, make sure you're respectful. If you are a 5th grader and you're talking to fellow 5th graders, make sure that you're respectful. And I want you, yes, you, to have the respect that you deserve. And I guarantee you will get that respect if you give it first to everyone else. So number 2, show that you are responsible. Being responsible means you got to know what you are in control of. And yes, there are so many aspects, little tiny parts of your life that you are not in control of. Maybe it's your parents that are in control. But there are still, if you think about it, so many aspects of your life that you are in control of. And that includes how you treat each other. That includes how you treat the school. That includes how you level up and tackle the schoolwork. Number 3, show that you are ready. And we already talked about this. Feed that good wolf. Feed the wolf that represents you the best so that you can be the best. Practice it. Take those breaths and represent yourself the best. Okay, so a couple things I want to talk about. Number 1, don't forget that our Ronald McDonald House supplies drive is still going on. As you see in this picture, we do have a box now, and in the box you can drop off gift cards. We are collecting gift cards because that's such a great way for the families that are benefiting and living at the Ronald McDonald House to be able to have the money to go and buy things that they need. This is a 6th grade leadership project. I hope that you guys will continue to support that. Number 2, I do want to confirm, last week was our underground staff spirit week, and the teachers started wearing different things, and they were coordinated with other teachers throughout the week. For instance, last Monday, we were supposed to be black on black. We were supposed to be kind of like the men in black and the ladies in black and just wear black. And some of you guys started raising your eyebrows and saying, you know what, something's odd here. What's going on? Then on Tuesday, we had to wear mismatched clothing, right? Clothing and hats that just didn't really match. It just was a little bit out of place. Then come Wednesday. Wednesday was tropical vibes and wearing bright colors. And I think by Wednesday, most of you kids figured out, you guys are up to something. You guys are messing with us. And it is true. You know, I was wearing a Hawaiian shirt. A lot of people were wearing leis. There were some bright colors out there. It was fun to see your faces. Now, Thursday, of course, was a snow day. But then on Friday, we decided to combine what we had Thursday and Friday put together, which was a drink out of a interesting vessel. I drank out of a boot, for instance. But there were a lot of other interesting things. And then many teachers also wore on Friday PJs. Who knows? Maybe we'll do it again next year. But we're not going to tell you when. All right. Last but not least, as I said, in February, it is Black History Month. I don't have a lot of time, but I do want to share with you that when I was a little kid, I was really interested in history. Over time, I became really interested in military history, war history, history about war. And during the American Civil War, and we talked about Harriet Tubman, she was a scout and a soldier during the American Civil War. This was a time in our history when it was up in Pennsylvania, right? We were a free state, we were trying to free the slaves, and we were also reconciling with ourselves as a country. Are all people created equal? Now, every single one of you boys and girls know the answer is yes. But back then, even if you were against slavery, when you were face to face with somebody who looked different, perhaps because of the color of their skin, you might not have thought that they were as good as you. This included up north. You had a lot of free African Americans living in the north, right? They escaped, they had kids, their kids were free. We had a lot living right here in Lancaster County. And a lot of these African Americans wanted to join the fight. They wanted to go and free their fellow African Americans who were down in Maryland, down in Virginia, down in Georgia, down in Mississippi, who were still slaves. And the Civil War had broken out, and the free African Americans up north, here in Pennsylvania, all the way up to Massachusetts, they wanted to fight. Abraham Lincoln and the government didn't trust African Americans. They didn't think that African Americans would make great soldiers. There was one particular African American. His name was Frederick Douglass. He lived up in Boston, and he actually used to be a slave. He escaped. He learned how to read and write. He said that was the most important thing for him because then he learned the power of words. He became powerful as a speaker, became friends with the governor of Massachusetts, the leader of Massachusetts, and then became friends with a really famous guy. I already mentioned him. He's on the $5 bill, Abraham Lincoln. Saw Abraham Lincoln kind of evolve and realize, yes, you know what? African Americans truly are equals. In 1862, Frederick Douglass convinced Abraham Lincoln, the President of the United States, you know what? Can we give African Americans a chance to serve in the United States Army? And Abraham Lincoln said yes. They worked with the governor of Massachusetts, since Frederick Douglass lived up in Massachusetts, and they created the first Northern Regiment that was completely full of African Americans, and they were grouped into a regiment called the 54th Massachusetts. The rest of this week, we're going to talk about that. You might be thinking, but this is Massachusetts. This has nothing to do with Pennsylvania. I guarantee you, there will be connections to Pennsylvania. But I'll leave you hanging with that. I'm out of time, so I'm going to leave you with this. I love you. I care about you. I'm here to encourage you. Go spread that message to everyone else. I can't wait to see you guys around. Have an awesome day. And as always, I like you just the way you are.